This video is a punch to the gut. The truth is that almost no modern man lives by a code of honor anymore. Once, a man's word was stone. Today, it's just a draft that can be erased. We've traded discipline for comfort, courage for convenience, character for clicks. And that's why you feel weak, scattered, and directionless. Without honor, nothing can hold the weight of your own life. This isn't a motivational speech. It's a call to shame, to responsibility, and to reclaim what was lost. If you stay, you'll hear what you need, not what you want, and you'll walk away with a code to live by, or with a conscience you can no longer silence. You grew up believing these were the best of times. Never has it been easier to eat, to sleep, to distract yourself. One click feeds your hunger, another silences your loneliness. But abundance carries a hidden cost. It killed the moral backbone of men. Today, they don't have to fight, they don't have to hold their tongue, they don't have to keep their word, and so they've become weak. The world applauds convenience and mocks discipline. Men who were once feared are now caricatures, addicted to vices, enslaved to validation, unable to look someone in the eye without trembling. This is not an economic problem, not a political one. It's a problem of character. So the question cuts deep. If honor has vanished from your life, what exactly is left of you? Honor was never theory. It was practice, sweat, and consequence. A man's word used to be a contract stronger than any signed paper. No excuses, no "I forgot," no "I couldn't." If he promised, he delivered. And if he failed, he bore the shame like a scar that never faded. That gave weight to his presence. Every gesture, every decision, every silence carried meaning and was measured. Honor was built in daily layers, in hard work, in loyalty to friends, in protecting family, in standing firm against injustice. It wasn't about being perfect, but about being steady. A man could be poor, but if he had honor, he possessed something kings could not buy. His reputation was his fortress. Wars weren't won only with sharp swords, but with men who would rather die than break their word. Towns thrived because merchants kept their deals even when it cost them money. Families endured because fathers refused to quit, even crushed by exhaustion. Honor was the invisible cement that held societies together. Today, many dismiss this as outdated romanticism, but it was that quiet discipline that made men respected. The size of the house didn't matter, the size of the word did. The bank account didn't matter, but the integrity of character did. Where there was honor, there was trust. Where there was trust, there was order. And where there was order, there was a future. That's why without honor, no title, no degree, no fortune means anything. A man without honor is just a shadow. A man with honor is a rock. And the difference between them lies in whether they uphold what they say. So what killed honor? Honor wasn't murdered in a single blow. It was corroded slowly, like rust eating away at iron from the inside. What killed honor was the constant exchange of what is hard for what is easy, of what is right for what is convenient. Modern society taught us that nothing is absolute, that everything can be relativized, and that unshakable principles are just relics of the past. That lie poisoned entire generations. First came the cult of instant pleasure. Men stopped enduring discomfort and started seeking anesthesia. Pornography replaced real intimacy. Social media replaced genuine relationships. Consumption replaced earned achievement. Men who once built homes now waste hours slouched in front of screens, draining their strength on fantasies that weaken them. Then came cowardice disguised as diplomacy. Men learned to avoid confrontation at all costs. They no longer speak what they think because they fear being canceled. They no longer stand for truth because they'd rather be accepted by the crowd, their spine bent under the weight of political correctness. And so, their voice lost power, Their word lost value, their soul lost vigor. Finally came the illusion of progress. Technology expanded comfort but shrank character. Today, if a man fails, he deletes. If he lies, he edits. If he betrays, he hides. He lives a life without visible consequences, but filled with inner ones. What killed honor was not an external enemy, but the internal choice to live as a slave to pleasure, cowardice, and appearances. And here is the hard verdict. Honor died because men sold it cheap. They chose comfort over discipline. They chose approval over respect. They chose being accepted over being upright. Honor wasn't lost. It was handed over. The cost of living without honor. A man without honor may still have money, status, or followers, but his existence is empty. The cost of living without honor is silent, but devastating. Without honor, respect vanishes. The woman who once admired him no longer trusts him. The children who should look up to him look away. Friends drift because they know his word means nothing. He may still be breathing, but he sustains nothing. He's like a beautiful house built on sand. The first storm tears it all down. Without honor, the mind becomes the enemy. Conscience turns into a judge that never sleeps. You lie down, but you don't rest, because deep down you know you betrayed yourself. Every broken promise, every hidden cowardice, every spoken lie eats away at the soul. To silence that inner court, men drown themselves in addictions: alcohol, pornography, consumerism, drugs, food. But nothing erases the echo inside. You failed. This weight doesn't come from chemistry, it comes from unresolved guilt. And the damage doesn't stop with him. A man without honor cannot lead. His voice sounds hollow, his advice hypocritical. He demands from others what he doesn't practice. He craves respect, but breaks his word. He asks for loyalty, but betrays in secret. The result is predictable: isolation, distrust, collapse. The world doesn't reward speeches, it rewards consistency. And when consistency is absent, doors close and opportunities vanish. The final impact is social. Without honorable men, families collapse, communities unravel, societies grow fragile. Laws have to shout louder, violence rises, disorder spreads. Where honor dies, chaos rules. The price of living without honor is not only personal, it is collective. It is the loss of what money can't buy: respect, moral authority, and legacy. The good news is this: honor can be buried, but not destroyed. It may be forgotten by entire generations, but it is always available to the man who chooses to raise it again. The recovery of honor begins in the silence of your own room, not before the crowds. It starts when you look in the mirror and decide you will no longer live as a slave to cowardice. It starts when your word regains its weight, even when no one is watching. Restoring honor requires daily discipline. It isn't about grand heroic gestures, but about small, consistent acts. Showing up on time, paying what you owe, telling the truth when lying would be easier, protecting those under your responsibility. These may look like simple bricks, but together they build the fortress of your integrity. The man who embraces this path slowly wins back respect, even from those who once doubted him. But don't be fooled. Reclaiming honor hurts. It demands sacrifice. It demands cutting off addictions, abandoning excuses, facing truths you tried to hide. It will put you against the current of the modern world, where everyone is looking for shortcuts. Yet it is precisely because it is hard that this path is noble. The man who walks it stops being a shadow and becomes a standard once again. The recovery of honor is not a return to the past, but a return to what is essential. It is not nostalgia, it is survival. A society without honor is doomed to collapse, but a single honorable man can light a flame in the darkness. Legacy is not born from perfection, but from steadfastness in principle. And when a man decides to live this way, he becomes a rock in the midst of shifting sand. Honor is not restored through speeches, but through daily choices. You don't need applause or a spotlight. You need firmness. Want to reclaim your honor? Start small. First, keep your word, even in the smallest things. If you say you'll call, call. If you promise to arrive at 8, arrive at 8. Each time you keep your word, you rebuild your reputation. Second, eliminate the vices that corrode your discipline. There is no honor in being enslaved by impulses. Third, take leadership in your home. Protect, provide, teach. Don't wait for the government, the school, or the pastor to do what is your duty. Fourth, define non-negotiable principles and live by them. Your word only carries value when it is supported by clear boundaries. Don't wait for the world's approval. Honor is not measured in likes, but in the clean conscience you carry when you lay your head down at night. It is a silent weight that grows with every right decision. And when the world sees your firmness, even those who mock you will be forced to respect you. In the end, it all comes down to one question: what remains of a man without honor? He may gather wealth, status, or fame, but he will be remembered only as someone who betrayed himself. His existence fades like smoke. But the man who chooses to live with honor may lose everything else, yet never the essentials: respect, dignity, legacy. He does not need crowds to applaud him. Only the peace of conscience and the certainty that his word still stands as law. This video is not an invitation to comfort, but to responsibility. Either you reclaim your honor today, or you die as just another nameless body swallowed by the world. The choice is yours. Live as a shadow or become a rock. There is no middle ground.